at the numbers. Highways and other civic infrastructure is springing up around us. Ports are being built. The border with China is more connected than ever before. Terror attacks are down. Maoists are on the ropes. Indians are traveling abroad in record numbers. The biggest businesses globally are and want to set up shop in India. GST collections are skyrocketing. Banks are buoyant. Inflation spikes are nowhere near they were in the UPA era. Big ticket corruption in government is negligible. But guess what, viewers? Guess what? Hindu voters are counting castes and the number of reveries they can corner. And Muslim votes are, if you go by the exhortations of the India bloc netas, being incited to wage anti-BJP vote jihad, in a manner of speaking. Not my words, viewers, their words. The India Alliance big netas use this word. Can you believe it, viewers, in 21st century in India? All this means that Modi has returned with a smaller mandate and less elbow room to undertake big and bold reforms. Naturally, those that call the shots in the NDA and in the Sangh Parivar are now warning voters to examine the facts and not fall for the baseless fear-mongering that they feel has become the staple of a desperate opposition. Mohan Bhagwat says, viewers, Bharat is essentially a Hindu Rashtra. Hindus regard everyone as their own. Hindu society must unite for its security, eliminate differences of language, caste and region. We must make all efforts to protect Bharat Ma. Now remember, viewers, he's talking in civilizational terms. He's not talking about forming a theocratic state. He's not talking about a Hindu Rajya. He's talking about a Hindu Rashtra. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, has come out and said we must learn from the past. Our unity, Hindu unity, will keep our nation on the path of progress. If we are divided, then those dividing us will celebrate and the nation will fall prey to destructive forces. Viewers, he has also talked about the importance of Muslims to integrate, to not put identity first, but to put national interests first. Of course, it was all kicked off by Yogi Adityanath, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister, who said nothing can be above the nation. Bharat will only be empowered if we are united. If we are divided, we will be destroyed. Our unity will ensure security and prosperity, unquote. We are listening. Listen to them.
हमें अतीत से सबक लेना है. हमें हमारी एकता को ही देश की ढाल बनाना है. हमें याद रखना है, अगर हम बटेंगे तो बांटने वाले महफिल सजाएंगे.
जो ये लोग जाति की राजनीति करके आपको विभाजित करना चाहते हैं, मैंने कहा था ना कि बटोगे तो कटोगे, एक रहोगे तो नेक रहोगे. कोई माई का लाल आपका बाल बांका नहीं कर पाएगा.
Viewers, it's quite clear. This is an exhortation to all of us to be united, not to look upon each other as caste adversaries or religious adversaries or split by creed. The opposition is, of course, hitting back, accusing the RSS BJP of polarizing by scaring Hindu voters into thinking that their future will darken if they don't vote en bloc for Modi's NDA. It's peculiar. Asaduddin Owaisi has come out and said Indian Hindus, Muslims, Dalits, tribals and Sikhs are in danger from Narendra Modi and Mohan Bhagwat, not from the likes of us. Nana Patole, Maharashtra Congress chief, says, quote, Hindus did not feel scared for 60 years since independence. There has been an atmosphere of fear in the last 10 years, unquote. Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Shiv Sena UBT has come out and said RSS and BJP have divided Hindus along caste lines. They have created divisions between Hindus and Muslims. They believe in a Hinduism that politically benefits them, unquote. Viewers, has she forgotten? It is not the RSS and the BJP that wants to actually ask each Indian what their caste is. It is her party's greatest ally in the India bloc that wants to do that. It is also her greatest ally in the India bloc, the Congress that goes around telling Muslims that they're not safe in this country, viewers, without being able to substantiate. But is it true, therefore, that the opposition has succeeded in dividing Hindus and alienating Muslims from the BJP despite the latter espousing Sabka Saath? The best way to answer this question is to examine the hard facts, viewers. And I always bring you the hard facts so you can get closer to the truth, so you can separate the wheat, viewers, from the chaff. And once you have the hard facts, viewers, you can make strong arguments which are pretty much infallible. What did Rahul Gandhi, the LOP, in the Lok Sabha say before he got those 100 seats? At the peak of campaign, he says, we will do away with 50% quota, cap, unquote. Jitni abadi utna haq. Those are the words he used. Rahul Gandhi said, OBC or Brahmin, tell me, what is your caste? He caught hold of a journalist, viewers, and shook him almost by the scruff of his neck, saying, tell me, who is your Malik? What is his caste? What is his caste? You'll remember all of that. I don't have to tell you. Hard fact 3, Akhilesh Yadav, Samajwadi Party Supremo, who goes on saying certain castes are being targeted in encounters, unquote. Let me tell you, viewers, this has become so omnipresent now that even newspapers, in fact, one that I write for, will put in its headline, Dalit youth killed in accident. Viewers, it's bizarre. Not youth killed in accident, but Dalit youth killed in accident. What are they trying to suggest? That the roads are unsafe only for Dalits? Viewers, we are going to an absolute absurd length. Samajwadi Party leader, Maria Alam, the niece of a very, very well-respected senior Congress leader. In the 2024 Lok Sabha poll, she says, quote, together do vote jihad. This is a very spectacularly intelligent, well-educated person. Together do vote jihad with intelligence, without being sentimental, and with silence, as we can only do vote jihad to drive away this Sanghi government. It is time to join hands, otherwise this Sanghi government will succeed in wiping out our existence, unquote. Who is the R in this country? Are we now all going to look upon ourselves as little ours? Our this, we are that, so and so is this, such and such is that? Because it's bizarre. Hard fact 5, Congress's Lok Sabha candidate, that gentleman, he was crying buckets. Mr. Chaudhary, he was the previous LOP, because he accused the TMC of telling their candidate Yusuf Pathan to ask minorities to, quote, vote for Bhai and not Dada, unquote. Viewers, this gentleman was winning from a Lok Sabha constituency for 5 Lok Sabha elections at the very least. And the TMC, the India Alliance partner, brings in a Gujarati Muslim, Yusuf Pathan, because they were desperate to defeat him and prove a point. Now, viewers, think about it. The same TMC was abusing Amit Shah and Modi, saying they're Gujarati Bohergatos, people from outside. And no problems bringing in another Gujarati, viewers, and adopting that as the son of Bengal. Look at the hypocrisy. Hard fact 6. In only 4 out of 15 Lok Sabha constituencies across 2014, 2019 and 2024 have Muslims at least once voted for a non-Muslim. So, viewers, in all these constituencies, Muslims vote specifically for Muslims. Hard fact 7. Owaisi won Hyderabad even though Muslim voter turnout in the 2024 Lok Sabha was just 45.07%, where they make up 59% of the total population, because Hindus voted for AIMIM. This is what the CSDS post-poll survey Lok Sabha 2024 tells us, viewers. So even Hindus, if you want to look at it from a completely communal angle, if Muslims are doing vote jihad, then Hindus are splitting and voting for parties that are more or less expressly championing Muslim rights in this country. Hindus even vote for Indian Union Muslim League, another sectarian party in Kerala which is part of the Congress-led UDF. Again, CSDS data viewers. NDA suffered 5% loss of Dalit vote share in the 2024 Lok Sabha polls because someone told them, viewers, that their reservation is going to disappear. Non-Jatav SCs in UP, many Dalits in Bihar, including majority of all Dalits in Haryana, deserted NDA because one politician was running around with the constitution saying, I will promise you a census and this government is going to take 400 seats and demolish reservations, etc. Viewers, and this same lot have a problem, have the cheek to say that someone calling for unity, someone asking all of us Indians to rise above our narrow creed and caste, our communalists, viewers. How does this work? I don't understand. Let's open this up. Let's go across straight to our panel. Let me first bring in Tehseen Poonawalla. Tehseen Poonawalla, come on. You've seen the hard facts. Dr. Ranganathan is already smiling because he's sharpening his knife in that corner. I just want to ask you this. How is the BJP and the RSS a threat to this unity of this country when it is the other lot, your lot, sir, your India bloc partners that are constantly dividing people on caste? Do you all want us to now wear our castes and roam around?
Are you opening a debate with me by saying that my bloc or my parties or the parties I support are anti-national? Is that your opening statement?
I didn't say that.
No, because
I said they are more communalist.
Anti-national.
They are more. That's your interpretation.
Okay.
I am saying that they are communal,
Fair.
and that is the point.
That's communal.
Because I didn't use this word. The India bloc partners, your friends, have said the RSS BJP is a communal lot. Yeah. They are dividing India. Now, viewers, it's not only along religious lines that we can divide India. You can also divide people on caste lines. You remember all those ghastly advertisements in newspapers that used to say, you know, Agarwal boy, etc., or upper caste Brahmin boy, etc., or somebody else wants to only marry into their caste. That is not communal, viewers. Today, that's not seen, thank goodness, in our newspapers, at least by and large. Because then what will we go to? Fair people, dark people, brown people, white people? Where will we take this?
Anand, I'm sorry, Rahul. I think you and I have been reading separate newspapers, but that's not the topic of our argument.
Right.
Did I miss the legislation the union government got to ban these ads? I didn't miss them. So let's come to the substance. After 11 years of the strongest man in the universe, Narendra Modi ji, and the second strongest man in the universe, Amit Shah ji, after 6 years as Home Minister and 5 years prior to that as BJP President, if Hindus aaj bhi khatre mein hai, fir they should go home.
He's not talking about
No.
He's also talking about Muslims.
One second.
From your poison. He's saying Muslim bhi khatre mein hai.
One second. I'll come to you. And Mohan Bhagwat ji should tell us, agar khatre mein hai, and Adityanath ji say ke kaatege, batege to kaatege, to quote him verbatim, kaun kaatega? और कोई किसी को काटता है इस देश में. Someone is cutting someone in this country. The Home Minister is snoozing. Oh no, Home Minister must be busy with the ICC events. His son is now ICC chairman. No, let's not get there. From that I remembered, ICC chairman is son. BJP leaders are abroad. Their kids study abroad. Owaisi's kids study abroad. देखिए, अगर धर्म खतरे में होगा, let me your viewers know, अगर कौम खतरे में है, तो इनके बच्चे सड़क पे क्यों नहीं आते तलवार और त्रिशूल और लाठी उठाने के? इनके बच्चे जाते विदेश, गरीबों को बच्चे को डालते लड़ाई करने के लिए. You said something very which I found objectionable. I leave it to your discretion. Dalit youth killed is a bizarre headline. You said the youth was killed probably because he was Dalit. That's why he was killed. Well, otherwise, one second, Rahul, don't interrupt me.
I'm talking about normal car accidents.
No, you're talking about killed.
No, I said
I wrote
in a car accident.
No, I wrote what you said.
No, 1 second, please. I said Dalit, young Dalit youth killed in a mishap, in an accident.
If you may please, if you are so against, if SC/STs don't require protection, Sanju ji is here. Remove the SC/ST Act. Remove it. Now, let me come to the meat of the substance. The fact of the matter is that this government has nothing to say. The Prime Minister has nothing to achieve. After 23 years in public life, and I wish him all the best and I wish him another 23 years of service to our country, he's achieved zero for Hindus, for Muslims, for India. Tell me Tell me which anti-Hindu act has been removed by this Prime Minister. Tell me which act has been removed. The Waqf Act? The Places of Worship Act? Tell me what has happened for Muslims. The fact of the matter is, the only thing that the Prime Minister can do is Shamshan Kabristan, and aap batoge to katoge, batege to ye hoga. They have nothing to deliver. They have nothing, and they're losing Haryana, and they are flustered.
Okay, that's fine. Let me just say, viewers, Narendra Modi said this. Where is the Hindu Muslim in this? You tell me. He said this, and we'll bring out
I'm
that
talking
quote.
Mohan Bhagwat.
No, one second. We'll look at Mohan Bhagwat also.
He said Hindu
It's a
katega,
Hindu.
batega.
No, he hasn't said
Hindu
that. He
batega
said,
to khatre
let me
mein.
read out. Bharat is essentially a Hindu Rashtra. Hindu regards everyone as their own. Everybody. One second, please.
No.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
But then allow me to
Hindu
answer that.
society must, I'm not going to, one second. Hindu society must unite for its security,
Correct.
eliminate differences of language, caste and region.
Correct.
What is objectionable about
I'll
this?
explain to you.
One second.
No,
We
no,
must
no,
all,
hold on,
we
hold
must
on.
make all efforts to protect Bharat Mata.
Correct.
Yes.
Now hold on. All Hindus are my brothers and sisters. All Hindus should unite. All Indians must unite. I agree. When will Mohan Bhagwat make the next RSS chief from the Dalit community or OBC community? Wahan nahi karenge. There they will not do. Number two, we should all unite under one language. Which language? Marathi, Gujarati, Kannada. Which language? Give me the language. Why not?
Viewers,
That is the problem.
When we talk about, now hang on, just a minute. This is a complete abnegation of facts, and I want
Why
to bring
is it
in.
abnegation?
I'll tell you.
Has there been
Once-
an SC
Sir, please
RSS
allow
chief?
me.
Has there
please.
been an OBC
Can you
RSS
allow
chief?
me, sir? Can you allow
Has
me?
there been an
Can you
ST
allow me?
RSS
Can you
chief?
allow? There
Let
is
your
an
viewers hear
OBC
that.
Prime Minister from the Sangh.
I'm talking about the RSS chief,
One
his
second.
boss.
It might happen. One second. There are enough Dalits, viewers, in the high echelons of the RSS. I'm sure Sanju Verma will have some of that data, and she can share with us.
I'm talking about
One
his
second.
chief.
One second. I'll ask you a question. I'll ask you a question, sir. I'll ask you a question. The Congress was in power for many, many years, wasn't it? Ruling at the center. Name me
55
one.
odd years.
Name me one Dalit PM that they made.
No, they did not. I agree with you.
Okay, one
They did
second.
not.
Now,
I agree.
one second.
They gave the Dalit
Sanju
president
Verma,
K.R.
please come
Narayanan.
in.
No,
Please
they gave
come in
Dalit
since you want to
president
come
K.R.
in.
Narayanan.
No, I
They
want
gave
one-
K.R. Narayanan. Has BJP given a Dalit prime minister?
The
Has
BJP and the
BJP
NDA
given
gave a Muslim president, sir. One second.
Congress
please,
also gave.
Please, one
Much
second.
before
One
BJP
second. One
gave.
second. Let me
And
just.
they gave K.R. Narayanan Dalit president.
Now, see viewers,
Much before
where
BJP
this
gave.
conversation is going.
No,
Dalit,
BJP gave Dalit
Hindu,
Prime Minister.
Muslim,
You asked the
this,
question.
That,
You asked the
At
question.
the end of the day, that's what all will be reduced to. Our primary identities. Our primary identity is Indian. Viewers,
Yet
I'm
no
not
Dalit
hearing that.
Indian is
One
RSS
second.
chief.
One second. BJP
That's the
spokesperson
problem.
wants to respond, please.
Thank you. You know, Rahul, first and foremost, let me nail the lies of Tehseen. And I can see he's sitting in the studio. I'm sure he's not going to heckle me and extend the same courtesy that he was extended. You know, Tehseen has this very good habit of saying, you know, I have tremendous respect for Narendra Modi ji, I have tremendous respect for Amit Shah ji, and then without wasting 2 seconds, he starts listing so-called malices of the current government. And he said that Narendra Modi ne to kuch achieve hi nahi kiya 23 saalon mein. 23 years in public life, and in just 30 seconds, I'll tell you what Narendra Modi has achieved. You know, today there are 10 crore Ujjwala gas connections. There are 14 crore tap connections thanks to Har Ghar Jal mission. There are 4 crore houses that have been built under the PM Awas Yojana. 40,000 kilometers of railway lines have been electrified. There is one college which opens every second day. There is one university which opens every week. There is one IIT or IIM which has opened every single year. There is 100 lakh crore worth of infrastructure projects which are being implemented thanks to the, National Infrastructure Mission. Then you have, most importantly, 43 crore beneficiaries of Mudra Yojana, under which more than 24 lakh crore worth of loans have been given. Today, every single day, mind you, not every single month or every single year, every single day, 50 crore, yes, you heard that right, 50 crore UPI transactions happen, and in a month, you have 21 lakh crore worth of UPI transactions, giving teeth to the Digital India mission of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which was mocked at from the floor of the parliament by no less than the former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram. Today, 46% of global digital transactions are done out of India. Today, our annual exports are $750 billion, which was not even $300 billion under the erstwhile Congress regime.
Right.
Today, India is the 5th largest economy, having overtaken the United Kingdom, and the only economy in the world, despite two black swan events, the Russia-Ukraine conflict and the COVID pandemic. It's the only economy which has grown at 8.36%. You heard that right. That's our average of the last 3 years. Today, India is the world's second largest steel manufacturer, the world's 4th largest automobile manufacturer, the world's 6th largest stock market, the world's 2nd largest bike manufacturer, the world's 3rd largest energy producer, the world's 2nd largest renewable energy producer. Today, we have given out more than 35 crore Ayushman cards. We have more than 12,000
Right.
Jan Aushadhi Kendras, which give medicines to people which are cheaper by anywhere between 75 to 90%. And today, thanks to Narendra Modi, almost all the 55 or 60,000 odd villages are electrified, and more than 2 crore urban housing projects have also got free electrification thanks to the Saubhagya Yojana. Today, solar power, the installed capacity is 90 gigawatts. It was only 2.4 gigawatts during the Congress regime. And today, thanks to Narendra Modi, you have a sports infrastructure and sports ecosystem where in the last Asian Games, we won
Sure.
107 medals.
Sure.
So यहाँ बैठकर नरेंद्र मोदी की रिपोर्ट कार्ड पर भाषण बीजेपी को देने से पहले पढ़ लिख कर आया करो. But most importantly, within the next 30 seconds, I will just tell you why this whole narrative about Modi has done nothing for Muslims. I have said this on your channel umpteen times, but I will reinforce it again because I will never get tired of saying 31% of PM Awas Yojana benefits go to minorities, especially Muslims. 36% of Mudra Yojana benefits go to minorities, especially Muslims. 37% benefits of Ujjwala Yojana go to minorities, especially Muslims. 33% of Ayushman Bharat Yojana benefits go to minorities, especially Muslims. And how can I forget that under the PM Kisan Yojana, more than 10 crore farmers have directly received more than 3.45 lakh crore, and 32% of that sum has also gone to minorities, especially Muslims.
Right.
So, Tehseen Poonawala, my
Okay.
last
So let
question
me-
is only this to you.
Yes.
Just last 10 seconds.
Yes.
Why is it that when Tehseen Poonawala, just 10 seconds, your leaders go to Karnataka, they want to talk about Lingayats versus Vokaligas.
Yeah.
When they campaign in Maharashtra, they want to talk about Marathas versus non-Marathas. In Haryana, about Jats versus non-Jats.
Right.
In Uttar Pradesh, about Jatav Dalits versus non-Jatav Dalits.
That's a pertinent
and you
question.
sit here and lecture about
Okay,
exclusivity
Dr.
to me.
Ranganathan, let me bring in Dr. Ranga. Pertinent question, and I'll just take off from where Sanju Verma has ended. People calling for unity are communal. People dividing us on the basis of caste and creed are accused, are lionized as being secular. How does this happen? How does this work?
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Look, I don't doubt Mr. Narendra Modi's sincerity in what he said. And in what he said, he is absolutely correct. If Hindus are divided, Hindus will be destroyed. The history of our civilization has provided this time and again, the proof. Let me illustrate this not with a historical example, Rahul, of which there are dozens, but a contemporary one. Remember how Indian Muslims united and indulged in Azad Maidan protests and riots to force the Indian government to take in Muslim Rohingya refugees from Myanmar? Well, it resulted in us taking in 40,000 Rohingya Muslim refugees. It is another matter that not one from their Indian Muslim community ever united to force the Indian government to settle 7 lakh Kashmiri Hindus who were driven out from their own homes. Anyhow, all Hindus, you, me, everyone, remember Azad Maidan. But do we remember Khamong Sheikh? We don't. It is a place in Myanmar where Muslim Rohingyas murdered more than 100 Hindus and their families mercilessly, raped, pillaged, even buried some alive. Many among those Rohingya Muslims who committed these atrocities might be right now in India as refugees. But as I said, no Hindu ever came out to talk about Khamong Sheikh. All we do is get jealous of Indian Muslims uniting for Rohingya Muslims, Palestinian Muslims, Gaza Muslims, Lebanese Muslims. Rahul, if you are jealous of someone else's unity, it means you are divided. So our fate is sealed. But then I asked Narendra Modi, was the Kashmiri Hindu genocide in Kashmir because of Hindu disunity? Fact is, जब हिंदू बटे नहीं हैं, तब भी कटे हैं. Simple truth is, Hindus united to choose a government that promised to work for their interests. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. But what has the government done except give patronizing lectures? Has this BJP government constructed detention centers this side of the Indo-Bangladesh border to allow persecuted Hindus fleeing the genocide in Bangladesh and standing in chest-high waters pleading to be let in? Has constitutional, legal, educational, social discrimination against the Hindus ended? Far from it. Has this BJP government removed exclusive state control on 1 lakh Hindu temples, something that would have allowed Hindus to construct thousands of Hindu schools and hospitals to prevent lakhs of Hindus leaving the fold of Hinduism in the face of incentives given by other religions? No. Has this government, BJP government, decoupled RT from the 93rd Amendment that forces only Hindu-run schools to give EWS reservation, something that has resulted in thousands of only Hindu schools being shut down? No. Has this BJP government abrogated the draconian Waqf Act that has usurped thousands of acres of Hindu land, including a temple that is 1500 years old? No. Has this BJP government abrogated the Place of Worship Act that bars only Hindus to reclaim their own demolished temples? No. Has this BJP government resettled 7 lakh Kashmiri Hindus in their own land? No. Rahul, yes, the Congress is anti-Hindu, we know that. Quote, the responsibility for communal peace rests on the majority community, that is the Hindus. If there is a breach of this peace, I would start with the presumption that it has been caused by Hindu communal elements, unquote. Who said this? Jawaharlal Nehru in 1959. And this is the same psyche that led the Congress in 2009 about to enact a law where only Hindus have been held guilty in a communal riot, even if they were in minority, for example, in Kashmir. The so-called communal violence bill, 10 seconds. But as I said, the question is not to the Congress. Question is to you, Modi ji, and the BJP. Why are Hindus who united to put you in power 3 times still being destroyed?
Okay. Well, viewers.
May I come in now, Rahul?
Yes, very quickly.
He's made some allegations.
Very
Mr.
quickly.
Ranganathan has made some allegations.
Yes, go ahead. I have to bring in Dr. Raman.
So Mr. Ranganathan, without being offensive to him, he knows that he's an eloquent speaker. But I think Mr. Ranganathan today is not being a monkey balancer. Today he's playing to the gallery because he realizes that if he asks what has Modi done for Hindus, he is going to have his followers on X/Twitter applauding him. कि अरे हाँ, आनंद रंगनाथन ने तो आज मोदी सरकार से ऐसे सवाल पूछे जो किसी ने आज तक पूछने की जरूरत नहीं की. And without being offensive to Mr. Ranganathan, let me just tell him, I am a proud practicing Hindu, and I know that after a 500-year-long wait, if today the grand Ayodhya temple is coming up after that beautiful consecration ceremony in January this year, it is only because Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister. Today, if we are even talking about completely revoking/amending the Waqf Act of 1995, it is because Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister. Today, if there is a special task force which is investigating the 1989 death of Justice Neelkant Ganju, it is because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in power. Even a movie like Kashmir Files of Vivek Agnihotri was released, bringing to light the horrors of the 1990 Kashmiri genocide. It is only because you have an ecosystem encouraged by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where despite being called draconian, free speech is actually something that is freely available to you, me, Mr. Ranganathan, Tehseen, everybody, and last but not the least, has Mr. Ranganathan even once said, Kashi Corridor, Vishwanath Corridor, उज्जैन महाकाल कॉरिडोर, ये आनंद रंगनाथन जी आपके कहने से या मेरे कहने से या राहुल शिवशंकर के कहने से या ना कहने से नहीं बना. It is because of the willpower determination of Narendra Modi.
There is
so
some
please,
truth.
Anand Ranganathan,
there is some
do
truth.
not try and be lopsided in your
Sanju
argument.
Verma, there is obviously some truth to what you're saying. It is true. It is true that neither Dr. Ranganathan, neither myself, neither a lot of other Hindu brothers came out and even went on hit the streets when the laddus were desecrated. We wrote. That's what we do very well. We write very well. We wrote articles bringing out the problem. But we didn't hit the streets.
But you and me are having a discussion on the laddu controversy.
CA viewers, a whole community blocked roads for many, many years altogether. 1.5, 2 years almost. There was no counter move by the Hindu community to say why? Why shouldn't our brothers who are being, jo kate hain, Bangladesh mein, why shouldn't they be allowed back here? It's true, viewers. All of us kept quiet. So the Modi government lost its nerve. For 4 years, it lost its nerve. Now, we can all accuse Modi of not having pressed the issue. But we lost our nerve, viewers. And let's also not forget, how many of us came out when the Kashmiris, part of my family, was kicked out of Kashmir? None of us came out. One Yati Narsingh. 1 second, just 1 minute. 1 minute, please. Madam, please. 1 minute, please. 1 second. One Yati one Yati Narsinghananda, whatever his name is, a reprobate of the first order, makes a statement. Members of another community, knowing fully well that the law will act against this person, members of the entire community come out and chant Sartan Se Juda slogans right up from Jammu down to Jaunpur, viewers. When one particular senior politician called Sanatan Dharma by the worst name, so much so that the Supreme Court also said, no, wrong. No Hindus came out, viewers. None of us. None of us. But this is not about Hindus and Muslims. The Prime Minister is saying, do not get divided, whether it's on the lines of caste or religion, specifically when people are pushing a narrative, fear-mongering. It's a bit like Trump, viewers, in America. He says that immigrants are eating their pets. That's exactly what happened here. The greatest populist in this country is not Narendra Modi. It is actually one opposition leader who cooks up fairy tales, who says the equivalent of what Trump is saying in America, viewers. And I want to bring in Dr. Raman on this point. Dr. Raman, who gave this term vote jihad? You have a lot of problem, and rightly so, with anchors, etc., who come up with horrible appellations like Thuk jihad, this jihad, that jihad. I don't agree with them at all. Love jihad, don't agree with them. But this vote jihad came up. How many people from the Congress party hit the streets and said wrong? Why is this word coming from? We are kicking this person out, hate mongering, dividing society. Why didn't it happen? Because it suited a purpose. Did it not? Answer this question, Dr. Raman. Everyone is today very honestly answered questions that have been posed to them. No whataboutery. Tell me, why wasn't vote jihad criticized?
Sorry. No, look, let's be very clear. What should be criticized and what should not be should be the prerogative of those who are being asked to take a position on things.
Right.
So you cannot decide what the opposition should criticize and should not. My point is, I waited very patiently. Please allow me to speak. Please allow me to speak.
Please.
So we did not, I'm a Hindu, I'm a worshipping Hindu, I believe I'm a fairly devout Hindu.
Yeah.
I don't hit the streets for the laddu desecration because no concrete evidence was ever presented that the laddu was desecrated. Right? And in fact, it's a shame that those who spread such, what at this moment remain unverified claims, did not even bother to give an apology for what they did.
What was unverified? Hang on. If you're going to use that example, what was unverified? Dr. Ranganathan will tell you what was unverified about what Nupur said. What was unverified about what Nupur said? Just asking a simple question. No, Dr. Raman, since you take exception to unverified news, I'm asking you this question.
Yes.
What was unverified about what Nupur Sharma said? You may not agree with it, but what was unverified?
1 minute. My question was about the laddu.
No, please. You see, don't put the laddu in my mouth.
I never brought it.
Don't put a laddu in my mouth. Don't do this. I said, be honest. Don't indulge in whataboutery. Fine.
Okay.
Where were you? Where were you when Kashmiri Hindus were? Hang on. When Kashmiri Hindus were booted out, where were you, sir?
Everybody
where was the ecosystem?
Has seen two people alone get uninterrupted time for 6-7 minutes to speak.
Please answer the question.
Two sentences.
Go ahead. I asked you a specific question.
Let me ask you questions. Let me ask questions. I can also ask questions. It's not a problem. I'm giving my point of view. My point of view is, if Mr. Narendra Modi has transformed this country beyond recognition and made us a global superpower and is the Vishwa Guru, why can he just simply not go and take that to the voters of the country? Why do you need
That is why he's the only Prime Minister to be third-time PM in the last 62 years. What are you talking?
Why do you need?
Okay.
Narendra Modi has come back as Prime Minister for the third time in a row.
1 minute.
For the first time since 1962.
Okay, I need to move on, but very quickly, Dr. Ranganathan, very quickly, since you were brought into the conversation. 1 second, Dr. Raman. 1 second, please. 1 second. Dr. Ranganathan, yes.
Now, this is where Dr. Raman goes overboard. If Modi has done so much, India has developed, Modi has done so, why doesn't he take it to the voters? Well, for your kind information, Dr. Raman, Modi did take this to the voters in Kashmir. 9 medical colleges, 1.5 million tap connections, 8 million Ayushman cards, 0.2 million homes, 0.8 million toilets, 65 million
No,
tourists.
so hold your thoughts, because I'm moving to Kashmir now. Dr. Ranganathan, I'm going to ask you exactly this, because we are moving to that debate. Now, 1 second, let's move on, viewers. Let's move on, please. Exit poll after exit poll, and this is a very good entreport. What Dr. Ranganathan is saying is very important, because the context is going to be set right now. Exit poll after exit poll is predicted that the alliance of the National Conference and Congress will form the government in Jammu and Kashmir. The BJP will do well in Jammu, but its candidates will lose their deposits in Kashmir. That's the assessment of the experts too. In fact, the NC Congress have already declared themselves the winners, and strikingly, we've attributed their impending victory to a rejection of saffron hate, which only underlines the India bloc has once again fear-mongered along communal lines among voters in the valley, blinding them to the good work that has been done. This is what Farooq Abdullah says. I'm confident that National Conference and Congress will comfortably form the government. I congratulate the PDP if they want to extend their support to our alliance. We are all on the same path. We need to end the hatred and keep Jammu and Kashmir integrated, unquote. End the hatred? Against whom, viewers? What is he trying to imply? Again, who is communalizing? If the exit polls hold true, then inevitably some will ask if voters were prejudiced by an alleged vicious disinformation campaign waged by the opposition, by the likes of this Abdullah gentleman, that blinded the voters to the performance of the centre. Remember that Jammu and Kashmir has been under central rule for close to 7 years, and especially after the abrogation of Article 370, there has been a dramatic transformation in the Union Territory. Here are some hard facts. 100% decline in stone pelting incidents, 69% fall in terror attacks, 80% fall in civilian casualties. After the abrogation of Article 370, the GSDP of Jammu and Kashmir has doubled to over 2.25 lakh crore from 1 lakh crore in 2018. Industrial development schemes were 28,400 crores for Jammu and Kashmir. Under Sehat, the big program, 100% universal coverage, insurance coverage for all Jammu and Kashmir residents. 7 medical colleges have opened in Jammu and Kashmir since the abrogation of Article 370. A number of 28 small hydropower projects estimated to cost a total of rupees 2,000 crore are operational. In 2020, 34 lakh tourists arrived. In 2024, 1 crore plus and counting. Several movie halls open after 33 years. What's there not to like? Viewers, in Jammu and Kashmir, look around you. There is change, yet in Kashmir, viewers, the BJP is going to lose its deposit. Why? If they've done so much work, done more work than what the National Conference and the Congress have done in 75 years in Kashmir. Let's open this up. Let me bring in Dr. Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan, we are told that Modi communalizes. Here is an example of him taking his record. In 5, 6, 7 years, you're watching with buckets of popcorn, a movie in a hall now in Srinagar, yet he's not going to be voted. Why do you think this is the reason?
So there are two aspects to this important debate. Number one, for all those who say Modi is Islamophobic, Modi hasn't done anything. Well, over the last 10 years, as far as central projects is concerned, Modi has done more for Muslims than any other community, and there is data to prove it, including scholarships, including so many other amenities, housing, facilities, loans, Krishi Samman Nidhi, everything else. As far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, since 370 abrogation, 9 medical colleges, 1.5 million tap connections, 8 million Ayushman cards, 0.2 million homes, 0.8 million toilets, 65 million tourist footfall, 81% decrease in terror incidents, 30% decrease in school days, 9,000 kilometers of new roads. Do you think that's not development? And still, as people are predicting, the vote share of BJP would be as little as 3%. So what is this? What is the reason for this? And here I'm going to say something that might be construed as politically incorrect, but be that as it may. It is not the fault of the Abdullahs and the Muftis and engineers. The fact is they are preaching to the choir. They are not communal. They are just one amongst the millions out there. And that's the issue. You can do however much development you want, but the fact is still you would have tens of thousands of Kashmiris pouring onto the streets, supporting, remembering, eulogizing a terrorist called Nasrallah. What's got development to do with that? The fact of the matter is that yes, Abdullah said वो Article 370 हटाएंगे, हम देखते हैं कैसे हटाएंगे. Allah would want that we gain independence. Yes, this is Farooq Abdullah saying it. But I say it again, he is preaching to the choir. Unless you have the bedrock community that is prepared to go communal, that already is. These people cannot win an election. But they are possibly going to form the government. So bottom line is, Modi ji must do development, because if you don't do development, you are not going to have a developed India. So yes, in Kashmir, in Jammu and Kashmir, he must do development irrespective. It has to be religion agnostic, it has to be everything agnostic, because that's wonderful. That's how India progresses. But to say Modi is anti-Muslim, he's not done any development, that's just blatantly wrong. He doesn't get votes in Muslim majority areas because the Muslims have been communalized. They are communal now.
Sarah Rashid, I don't understand, because in Jammu, people are going to vote according to these exit polls, which I know we can take with a pinch of salt now. But nonetheless, we have only those indications and what we are picking up from the street there in Jammu, that yes, the BJP is going to certainly do much better than it's going to do in the valley. In the valley, it's not even expected to pick up one seat. So the voters of Jammu know who's done work for them, but the Kashmiri voters are held back by some sort of a blindfold. What is this blindfold? And I just want you to remember one thing, that it was not me who actually said that there is a communal element working. Omar Abdullah himself said there's an Islamist wave. It freaks me out as an Indian. I'm worried.
So Rahul, my throat is bad, so I'm going to sound a bit like this. Sorry, apologies for that. I'm going to speak in Hindi if that's fine with you.
Yeah, of course.
ये जो इलेक्शन जो होता है, जब वोटिंग की बात आती है, जब आपको लोगों को मोबिलाइज करना होता है पोलिंग बूथ पे लाने के लिए, उस टाइम पे संगठन की मजबूती बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है. नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस सबसे संगठित ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है. इट इज द बेस्ट ऑर्गेनाइज्ड पार्टी इन द कश्मीर वैली. बीजेपी का जहां जहां पे अच्छा संगठन है वहां पे वो जीतते हैं, जहां जहां पे उनकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल प्रॉब्लम्स होती है वहां पे वो हारते हैं. अब यहाँ पे लोगों का, आपने एक सेंटिमेंट बताया कि 10 लोग जो है हिजबुल्लाह के लिए निकले, लेकिन एवरी टाइम द पीएम कम्स फॉर अ रैली, उस टाइम भी 30-30, 40-40 हजार लोग निकलते हैं. अच्छा, यहाँ पे लोग ये भी बोलते हैं कि गवर्नर रूल चलने दो. यहाँ पे ये भी एक सेंटिमेंट है. तो कोई एक सेंटिमेंट को आप जो है एज अ रिप्रेजेंटेटिव नहीं ले सकते हैं. बहुत सारे लोग जो है वो ये भी कह रहे हैं कि क्यों ही कराना था इलेक्शन. पिछले मतलब 4-5 साल से जब से गवर्नर रूल चल रहा है, तब से तो अच्छा चल, मतलब स्पेशली अंडर द प्रेजेंट गवर्नर, they are saying a lot. If you speak to the local people here,
I was one of them also.
Talk to them, and they will say this. They'll say कि अच्छा चल रहा है गवर्नर रूल. तो जो ही ये पुरानी पार्टीज आएंगी, उसी टाइम डिस्टर्बेंस शुरू हो जाएगा, फिर से पथराव शुरू हो जाएगा. तो आपका जो अजम्पशन है, पहली बात, कि पीपल आर अनग्रेटफुल फॉर व्हाट मोदी एंड गवर्नर हैव डन, दैट आई एम गोइंग टू कंटेस्ट. दैट इज रॉन्ग. लेकिन जो जहाँ पे इलेक्शन की बात आती है, वहां पे आपको पहली चीज जो देखता है ना इंसान, वो देखता है अपनी जो कंस्टिट्यूएंसी में है, यहाँ पे स्ट्रॉन्ग पार्टी कौन सी है, स्ट्रॉन्ग कैंडिडेट कौन सा. मैंने कई सारे रीसेंट इंटरव्यूज में मुझसे ये पूछा गया, बिकॉज आई एम सी एज अ मोदी फैन, एज अ मोदी ए टीम, बीजेपी ए टीम, वट एवर. बट इफ यू आस्क मी कि मेरा जो रीजन है, यहाँ पे कौन सी पार्टी स्ट्रॉन्ग है, इट इज नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस. क्या बीजेपी ने उस तरह की ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बिल्डिंग की? यहाँ पे देखिए, मैं बीजेपी को जहाँ पे क्रेडिट देना है वहां पे देती हूँ. जो सारे आपने आंकड़े बताए, जितने भी आपने स्टेटिस्टिक्स बताए, सब ठीक है, लेकिन क्या उन्होंने उस तरह से ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बिल्डिंग यहाँ पे की? क्या वो उसमें सक्सेसफुल रहे? दैट इज अ फैक्टर वी हैव टू सी. मैंने आपसे अभी एक क्वेश्चन पूछा, मैं फिर से पूछती हूँ. क्या मुझे आप कोई एक लीडर बता सकते हैं कश्मीर वैली में जो बीजेपी का स्टार लीडर, फॉर एग्जाम्पल कैंडिडेट, आप मुझे कैंडिडेट के नाम बता दीजिए. कश्मीर वैली में कौन से ऐसे कैंडिडेट हैं जो बहुत मतलब स्टार कैंडिडेट है बीजेपी?
Could you have told me that in Rajasthan, the chief minister's pick, or in Madhya Pradesh, the chief minister's pick would have been as nondescript as the people that were picked? In fact, even the Rajasthan BJP leaders who were sitting in the front row were looking at each other, hoping that one of them will be called up. But someone from the exact last row came. No, one second. I find this, you see, I am not making this comment. The person who is saying, who is echoing Dr. Ranganathan, Sheila ma'am, the person who is echoing Dr. Ranganathan is Omar Abdullah. He is saying that people are so communalized that there's an Islamist wave. I lost to an Islamist wave, he is saying. This is not Rahul Shiv Shankar. We can't be in denial.
May I please?
That has always been the mainstream and Islamist divide. वो तो हमेशा रहा ही है.
No, but that's the problem, viewers. When you're given an yes, okay, Dr. Ranganathan wants to come in and let me open this
Rahul,
up.
can I please come
Yes,
in?
I'm opening it
I've
up
been
to you.
waiting for my turn.
Yes, I will. Just quickly, Dr. Ranganathan raised his hand. I'll bring you in. Promise you. Yes. Go ahead.
No, it's nice to see Shaila ji there. She is from my university, so I'll be kind to her. Look, the fact of the matter is, it's not about whether you know the politician or not. The proof of the pudding is in the eating.
That's right.
If 80% terror incidents have reduced in the last 5 years, if 30% more school days are there, you don't need an MP or an MLA to tell you that.
Exactly.
The school children know it. The parents know it. So the effect is there on the ground. That's what I mean to say, Shaila ji.
That's right. I think that's a point very well made, viewers. It's not like the AAP had very deep roots in Delhi when it contested an election, but it came back with 60 odd seats out of 70. In fact, there were only 3 left for the opposition the first time around. Yes, Sanju Verma.
You know, Rahul,
Yes,
the main grouse I have is that educated Muslims also try and rationalize the fact that when it comes to exercising their franchise, when it comes to exercising their vote, barring stray exceptions, you know, Shehla could be a stray exception, Shah Faisal could be a stray exception, and I will not even call them turncoats. What I would like to stress upon here is the fact that educated Muslims also, when given an opportunity to choose the right government and exercise their mandate judiciously with discretion, choose not to do so because the unpalatable truth, and this is something which many people, especially Muslims, are not going to like, but I'm not going to play to the gallery. I will state the hard facts for what they are worth. And the hard fact is this: for most Muslims, जब बात आती है about the brass tacks, it is their religion which matters. तो उस वक्त कई लोगों ने कहा है, you know, there is a journalist called Archana Tiwari who's been going around interviewing people in the Kashmir Valley. She's suddenly become the flavor of the season on social media, and social media is a potent force which you cannot dismiss. And you know, there are people who say, Modi ji ne सड़कें बनवाई, Modi ji ने हमको बिजली दिलवाई, Modi ji ने हमको घर दिलवाया, but हम वोट तो कांग्रेस के लिए करेंगे या तो नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के कैंडिडेट के लिए करेंगे. एंड व्हेन शी आस्क्ड देम, जब मोदी जी ने आपको इतना सब दिया, घर दी, पानी दिया, बिजली दी, तो फिर आप मोदी जी को बीजेपी की सरकार को वोट क्यों ही नहीं देते? नहीं, वो तो हम नहीं कर सकते, बिकॉज यू नो आवर रिलीजन सेज दैट वी हैव टू वोट फॉर यू नो आवर इल्क एंड आवर काइंड. This is something that has been stated and is publicly documented. It is not something that I'm doffing off my hat. But please, Rahul, bear with me. I've been listening to everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
I think you need to know this. You know, for us to have a discourse on national television saying, oh, if Narendra Modi has actually worked on the ground, why is it that Muslims are not voting for him? So my simple logic to that is this, that Narendra Modi is a statesman first. He's a politician later. He cannot be dictated by television debates. He will do what is right for the country. That is why BJP's motto is nation first.
Okay.
बाद में सब कुछ, whether it is your family, it is the individual concern. So when you are governed by the nation first attitude and the nation first dictum, you are not going to look at just electoral gains.
Sure.
You will have to work for the greater good, firmly believing that someday these people who are so radicalized, the radicalized Islamists will actually see that the likes of Omar Abdullah, the likes of Mehbooba Mufti, the likes of Rashid Engineer, they are not going to do any good to the greater good of these Muslims.
Let me put that point. Shaila Rashid,
Can I respond briefly?
Shaila Rashid, presently Hindus don't have deep roots anymore in the Kashmir Valley. They have been severed, as you know. We've just seen in the last few months a spate of killings also of Hindus who are in the valley. Now, I don't understand why. Hundreds and thousands of Muslims, their neighbors, did not mobilize to take their arthi to the crematorium, like they do quite often for some terrorists who have been killed, Islamist terrorists who have been killed, where the zanana is accompanied by hundreds and thousands of people and there's breast beating and all of that happens. So, I don't think you need to have deep roots to see right from wrong. I don't think you need to have you just need to have intelligence. And you have it. You have seen the light. What makes you different?
If you are referring to the pro-Hezbollah protests...
No, not the pro-Hezbollah. I'm talking about the unfortunately, some terrorists who have been killed there. their zananas are accompanied by hundreds and thousands of mourners. We know what we are talking about.
So that is why many of the people here in the valley today will say, and what should I say? I partly in my heart, I agree with the argument कि गवर्नर रूल ठीक चल रहा था. गवर्नर रूल से लॉ एंड ऑर्डर कंट्रोल में था, डीराडिकलाइजेशन वाला काम चल रहा था, इलेक्शंस वर प्रेमेच्योर, they were precoce, they were done like without enough work, enough follow-up work being done after 370, because yes, there was a lot of work to do. But yes, I agree with you that this election has brought out the competitive separatism and competitive Islamization. You even see people, who till yesterday were speaking a different language, today they are speaking a full Islamist language. Having said that, मैं संजू जी के पॉइंट को एक ब्रीफ रेस्पॉन्स देना चाहती थी कि अगर जो मेरा अर्लियर पॉइंट है ना कि वोट जो है वो संगठन की स्ट्रेंथ पे होता है बेसिकली. अगर इस्लामाइजेशन पे ही पूरा वोट होता तो फिर तो पीडीपी को स्वीप करना चाहिए था, फिर तो पीडीपी की परफॉर्मेंस बेटर देन एनसी होनी चाहिए थी, बिकॉज पीडीपी का जो इस्लामिस्ट रेटरिक है वो तो अनदर लेवल पे है, वो तो एनसी कहीं पे उसके कंपैरिजन में भी नहीं आता. तो अल्टीमेटली आई एम रिपीटिंग माई पॉइंट, आई स्टिक टू माई पॉइंट कि जो पर्टिकुलर इलेक्शन के दिन लोगों को बूथ पे लाना, मोबिलाइज करना, अपने काउंटिंग एजेंट्स, पोलिंग एजेंट्स, वो सारा संगठन की स्ट्रेंथ पे डिपेंड करता है. मैं आप तीनों लोगों से फिर से एक बार पूछती हूँ, मुझे बताइए कश्मीर वैली में कौन सा ऐसा कैंडिडेट था. इनफैक्ट अगर मैं आपको सच बताऊं, लोकसभा इलेक्शन के टाइम पे देयर वाज अ ह्यूज क्लैमर कि श्रीनगर से जो है फॉर एग्जांपल दरक्षा आनंद राबी फॉर एग्जांपल, शी शुड हैव बीन फील्डेड और शी कुड हैव बीन फील्डेड, और अशोक पॉल साहब हैं, ही कुड हैव बीन फील्डेड फ्रॉम वन ऑफ द लोकसभा कंस्टिट्यूएंसीज. किसी को फील नहीं, सो देयर वाज अ हंगर फॉर बीजेपी टू कम इनटू द पोल्स, टू गिव गुड लीडर्स, टू गिव गुड रिप्रेजेंटेशन. अगर मैं आपसे ये भी पूछूं, कश्मीर वैली में बीजेपी का कौन सा बड़ा लीडर है जो लड़ रहा है, आप मुझे जवाब दीजिए.
Okay, Sanju Verma, yes.
Shaila's asked a pertinent question. And, I don't know what's the definition of star, but for me, a star candidate is somebody who's rooted to the ground and understands the nuances of the constituency.
Okay, I think we lost Sanju Verma there. Dr. Ranganathan, would you like to respond? I think we lost her there. Yes. Yeah.
हमारा नेता कैसा हो, शैला रशीद जैसा हो.
Okay, that says quite a bit. Shaila Rashid, do you think if you had stood for the BJP on a ticket, would you have made a difference?
See, it all depends on how strong the organization of the BJP would have been. If BJP would have been if it had had a strong, and by strong organization, I mean कि आपके booth level पे लोग होने चाहिए.
Right.
संगठन जो है वो इलेक्शन जीतता है. Candidate.
I'm not very convinced about this because the BJP doesn't usually go in with a chief ministerial face in any of its state elections. It has won even in Orissa, viewers. It has won in geographies where it actually had zero presence. Look at Tripura. It came from nowhere. It took the state right from under the nose of the CPIM. Look at Bengal. It was struggling, and it exploded onto the scene so much so. You know what I'm talking about. There are many states where the BJP was completely not exist. There is something more at work. Now we can, it's the elephant in the room.
I just want to make one point. There has been a certain coyness on part of the BJP in making direct inroads and hitting Kashmir directly. Now what I mean by that is जैसे अभी अगर आप हरियाणा में जाएंगे, today if Vinesh Phogat says कि नहीं मुझे आज बीजेपी ज्वाइन करनी है, आप उनको तुरंत ले लेंगे अपनी पार्टी में. अगर आप किसी और पार्टी में, अगर आप सचिन पायलट अगर आज
fine, you are making it about
I am saying for example,
I got it. The right candidate, the right organizational machinery. Fair enough. One second, let me.
Ramnabi Azad should have been taken into BJP. What is his name?
I get what you're saying.
He should have been. That is how it works. So
that's your point of view. That is a point of view, viewers. I'm not going to overlook it. I'm not blind, but they did inject Mr. Ram Madhav, who knows a lot about that state, managed a coalition earlier. So I don't think he was. Okay, anyhow, Dr. Ranganathan. Yes, quickly. We need to wrap up. Yeah.
And then I'm not being patronizing towards Shaila ji. I'm just saying that if in a state for the last 5 years you had the highest tourist footfall ever in recorded history, total of 65 million people have visited Kashmir and contributed to the economy, you don't need a person to remember his name by. So likewise, yes, I cannot recall any BJP neta who's fighting election, but just to prove a point, again, not being patronizing, Sheila ji, can you tell me who is the current Chief Minister of Odisha?
Yeah. No, I understand your point. I
Okay,
understand.
we leave it at this, viewers. I think that's a pertinent question. You see,
Let BJP
Dr. Ranganathan
come
always asks the
Let them
questions.
co-op. Let them co-op big names. Let
Okay.
them get big
Well,
leaders to their
look,
fold.
I understand.
Let
Well,
them
let's
make
see.
good
I'm not
leaders.
even sure, viewers, as having been somebody who has faced a certain type of discrimination, that even that would make a difference. But look, that's my view. We've had three very interesting views here. I leave it at this, viewers.
हमारे पिंडाल में दाखिल हो चुका है। बेबस मर्दों, औरतों और बच्चों की खातिर न लड़ो।
हमेशा ह्यूमन राइट्स के लिए आवाज बुलंद की है।
मोहतरम जनाब मोहम्मद हुसैन मेहदी साहब, अमीर जमात इस्लामी सूबा से, मोहतरम जनाब
से 6 गुना से ज्यादा है, जिसके नतीजे में तकरीबन 50
हमास के मुजाहिदों ने आज से 1 साल कबल
लुबनान को भी शामिल करने की कोशिश की है। आज
very much everyone for coming here. We already have 6 people that are holding
Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, Avinu shebashamayim.
Yeter! Dur!
Mücadelemiz yaşasın Filistin mücadelemiz.
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. Today is October 7th, exactly 1 year since Hamas attacked Israel, killed hundreds of people and took many hostage. We were in Israel a day after the attack to tell you about the shock, the grief, the anger and the building response. It was a terrorist attack, there are no two ways about it, but it set in motion a series of events that have brought West Asia